Captain Lee Daho stood on the bridge of the New Sol, watching Earth grow smaller in the main screen. The blue and white planet looked peaceful from this distance. He could not see the chaos happening on the surface below. For 3 days, every government on Earth had been arguing about the message. The message had come from space. Not from any human ship or satellite, but from something else. Something that called itself the Galactic Confederation. The aliens had been watching Earth for 300 years, they said. Now they wanted to meet. "Captain, we are receiving another transmission from Earth Command," said Commander Yoon Jae-sung from his station. His fingers moved quickly over the control panel. Lee turned away from the screen. "Put it through." Admiral Kim Tae-jin appeared on the communication screen. His face looked tired. Dark circles showed under his eyes. "Captain Lee, how is your crew holding up?" "We are ready, sir. Engineer Han Bo-ram has checked all systems twice. Dr. Park Mi-young has prepared her first contact protocols. We are as ready as we can be for something like this." Kim nodded slowly. "Good. The politicians are still fighting about what to tell these aliens. Half of them want to accept everything the aliens offer. The other half think this is some kind of trick." Lee understood why people were scared. The alien message had been very clear. Earth was ready to join the galaxy, they said. Humans had reached the right level of technology and social development. Now it was time to take the next step. But the next step meant big changes. Earth would have to give up its separate governments and create one world leadership. The military forces would be disbanded. Alien advisors would help guide human development. It sounded like surrender dressed up as a gift. "What does Ambassador Choi think?" Lee asked. "She believes we should listen to what they have to say before deciding anything. That is why you are going out there, Captain. We need to know what we are really dealing with." The alien meeting point was at the edge of the solar system, beyond Pluto. They had given exact coordinates and a specific time. They seemed to know a lot about human space travel capabilities. Too much, perhaps. Dr. Park Mi-young entered the bridge carrying a data tablet. She was Earth's best expert on alien life, even though she had never seen a real alien before today. "Captain, I have been studying the linguistic patterns in their messages. Their translation software is incredibly advanced. Too advanced." "What do you mean?" Lee asked. "They understand not just our words, but our cultural meanings. They know our idioms, our jokes, our fears. This level of understanding takes decades of study. They have been watching us very closely." That worried Lee. If the aliens had been watching Earth for 3 centuries, they knew everything about human weaknesses. They knew about human wars, human greed, human mistakes. They also knew about human strengths. But Lee wondered if they understood those as well. Engineer Han Bo-ram called from the engine room through the communication system. "Captain, we will reach the meeting point in 6 hours. All systems are running perfectly, but I have to say this feels like walking into a trap." "Why do you think that?" Lee asked. "The location they chose. It is far from Earth, far from any help. If something goes wrong, we are on our own out there." Lee had thought about that too. The aliens could have met them anywhere. They could have come to Earth directly. Instead, they wanted humans to come to them, alone, in empty space. "Commander Yoon, what is the status of our defense systems?" "All. Weapons are powered but not active. Shields are ready to deploy in 2 seconds if needed. But Captain, if these aliens have been traveling between stars for centuries, our weapons might not be very useful." That was the truth that scared everyone. Humans had just learned to travel to other planets in their own solar system. These aliens traveled between different star systems. The technology gap was enormous. Ambassador Choi So-ra joined them on the bridge. She had been quiet during most of the journey, preparing for the most important diplomatic meeting in human history. "Captain, I have been thinking about their offer, and it is too good to be true. No one gives away advanced technology and galactic citizenship for free. They want something from us. The question is what?" Lee agreed. In his experience, when someone offered you everything you wanted, they usually wanted something you did not want to give. "Dr. Park, in your opinion, are these aliens friendly?" Park looked at her data tablet. Their language is polite and respectful. They speak about honor and mutual benefit. But there is something else. They assume we will accept their offer. Every message is written as if our agreement is certain. They are not really asking us to join. They are telling us we will join. The hours passed slowly. The crew prepared for first contact while Earth waited for news. Lee knew that billions of people were watching the news, waiting to learn about humanity's future. Finally, the sensors detected something ahead. It was big, much bigger than any human ship. "Captain, we have visual contact," Yoon reported. The main screen showed a massive structure floating in space. It was not a ship. It was more like a small city, with towers and docking bays and lights everywhere. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. "They are sending us docking instructions," the communication officer reported. Lee looked at his crew. These were good people. They had volunteered for this mission knowing they might not come home. "All right, everyone. This is what we came here to do. Let us go meet our new neighbors and see what they really want." The new soul moved slowly toward the alien station. In a few minutes, humans would speak face to face with aliens for the first time. Lee hoped they would still be free to speak for themselves when the meeting was over. The docking bay was huge. Captain Lee Dae-ho had seen pictures of the largest buildings on Earth, but this single room was bigger than most cities. The new soul looked like a toy inside it. "Atmosphere is breathable," reported Dr. Park Mi-young, checking her scanner. "Gravity is slightly less than Earth normal. Temperature is comfortable." Strange beings waited for them outside the ship. Lee had expected aliens to look completely different from humans, but these creatures were surprisingly similar. They had 2 arms, 2 legs, and faces with eyes and mouths. But their skin had different colors, some blue, some green, some silver. Their clothes looked expensive and formal. "Welcome, humans of Earth," said the tallest alien. Its voice came through a small device that translated the words perfectly. "I am Vexhai, Council Leader of the Galactic Confederation. We are honored to finally meet you in person." Ambassador Choi So-ra stepped forward. She had practiced this moment many times. "Thank you for inviting us. I am Ambassador Choi So-ra, representing Earth and all humanity. Please follow us. We have prepared a meeting room where we can discuss your future among the stars." They walked through corridors filled with amazing technology, lights that had no visible source, walls that showed moving pictures of distant worlds, transportation tubes that carried people without any visible mechanism. Everything was clean and beautiful and perfect. Dr. Park whispered to Lee, "Captain, I'm seeing at least 12 different alien species working here. This is not just one race. This is a real galactic civilization." The meeting room was circular with a large table in the center. Holographic displays showed star maps and data charts. Lee noticed that one display showed Earth in great detail, including the locations of major cities and military bases. "Please sit," said Vexhai. "We have much to discuss." A different alien joined them. This one was larger and looked like it was built for fighting. Its skin was dark red and its hands ended in claws. "I am Korthak of the warrior caste. I handle security matters for the Confederation." Lee did not like the way Korthak looked at them. It reminded him of how a predator watches prey. "Let us begin with the good news," said Vexhai. "Earth has passed all the requirements for uplift into galactic society. Your technology level is sufficient. Your social development shows promise. You are ready to take your place among the stars." "That is wonderful to hear," said Ambassador Choi carefully. "Can you tell us more about what this membership involves?" Vexhai activated a holographic display. It showed hundreds of star systems connected by trade routes. The Galactic Confederation includes 847 member worlds. Each species contributes their unique abilities to the greater good. The Zephyrians handle agriculture. The Makani provide manufacturing. The Talari manage communications. "And what would humanity contribute?" asked Dr. Park. "Humans show exceptional ability in conflict resolution and military strategy. You would become our peacekeepers and enforcers. When disputes arise between worlds, Human forces would restore order. Lee felt a chill. They wanted humans to be galactic police officers. What if we prefer a different role? Korthak spoke for the first time. Roles are assigned based on species capabilities and galactic needs. Humans excel at warfare. This is your destiny. I see, said Ambassador Choi. And what would Earth need to change to join this confederation? Very little, Vexhai said smoothly. You would need to establish a single planetary government. Local military forces would be replaced by Confederation peacekeeping units. Galactic advisors would help guide your development. It is quite simple. Dr. Park asked, what happened to species who chose not to join? The room went quiet. Vexhai and Korthak exchanged looks. Non-membership is not really an option, Vexhai finally said. Species who refuse uplift find it difficult to survive in a galactic environment. Trade becomes impossible. Technology advancement stops. Resources become scarce. It is better for everyone to cooperate. Lee understood. This was not an invitation. It was a demand with consequences for refusal. Engineer Han Boram had been quiet until now. Sir, can I ask about our technological development? Some of our recent breakthroughs seemed almost too easy, like someone was helping us along. Vexhai smiled. Very observant. Yes, we have provided subtle guidance over the centuries. A scientific paper here and inspiration there. We helped you develop the technologies you would need to join us. You manipulated our development? Dr. Park asked. We guided it. Left alone, species often develop dangerous technologies or harmful social systems. Our guidance ensures you develop in useful directions. Ambassador Choi leaned forward. And if we wanted to develop in our own direction? Why would you want that? Asked Korthak. We offer you the wisdom of thousands of years and hundreds of worlds. Your primitive development would be wasteful and dangerous. Lee had heard enough. These aliens talked about honor and mutual benefit, but they treated humans like children who could not make their own decisions. What if we need time to consider your offer? Time? Vexhai looked confused. What is there to consider? We offer you everything your species could want. Technology, resources, protection, purpose. This is the greatest gift any species can receive. Nevertheless, this is a big decision for our people. We need to discuss it with our governments. Korthak stood up. His claws scraped against the table. Other species have accepted uplift immediately. Humans seem unusually difficult. We prefer to call it thorough, said Ambassador Choi. Dr. Park had been studying her scanner during the conversation. She showed Lee the display. It revealed hidden recording devices throughout the room. Everything they said was being monitored and analyzed. The meeting continued for hours. The aliens showed them wonders of galactic civilization. Technologies that could solve every problem on Earth. Medical advances that could extend human life for centuries. Energy sources that could power humanity forever. But every gift came with conditions. Every advancement required supervision. Every benefit meant giving up human independence. Finally, it was time to leave. As they walked back to their ship, Dr. Park whispered, Captain, I scanned their databases while they were distracted. What I found is disturbing. What did you learn? This uplift process has happened 846 times before. Every single species that joined lost their independence completely. They became specialized workers in a galactic system. None of them rule themselves anymore. Lee nodded grimly. When they reached the ship, he looked back at the massive alien station. It was beautiful and impressive and terrifying. Set course for Earth, he ordered. We have a report to make. As the new soul pulled away from the station, Lee knew that humanity faced its greatest test. The aliens offered everything humans thought they wanted, but the price was everything that made humans human. The question now was whether Earth would pay that price or choose a different path. The emergency session at Earth Command lasted 18 hours. Every world leader, military commander, and scientific advisor watched Captain Lee Dae-ho give his report. The room was silent when he finished speaking. President Park Dong-min of The United Earth Council spoke first. So they want us to become their galactic police force and give up our independence. That is correct, sir, Lee replied. They call it uplift, but it looks like slavery with better technology. Dr. Park Mi-young activated a holographic display showing the data she had stolen from the alien station. Every species that joined, the Confederation lost their freedom. The Zephyrians used to be explorers and scientists. Now they only grow food. The Mechani were artists and philosophers. Now they only build machines. General Bei Su-jin studied the tactical information. Their military technology is at least 500 years ahead of ours. If we refuse and they decide to force us, we cannot win a direct fight. Maybe we do not need to win, said Admiral Kim Tae-jin. Maybe we just need to make them decide. We are too much trouble. Ambassador Choi Sora had been thinking about the aliens' behavior during the meeting. They seemed genuinely surprised that we wanted time to consider their offer. I think they expected us to accept immediately, like all the other species did. Dr. Lim Woo-hyuk, Earth's top physicist, raised his hand. I have been analyzing the technology scans Dr. Park brought back. Their quantum manipulation techniques are advanced, but they are following very rigid patterns. It is like they stopped innovating centuries ago. What does that mean? Asked President Park. It means they might not be ready for something truly unexpected. Their whole system depends on predictability and control. The debate continued for hours. Some leaders wanted to accept the alien offer and hope for the best. Others wanted to refuse and prepare for war. A few suggested trying to negotiate better terms. Finally, Captain Lee stood up. With respect, we are thinking about this wrong. They did not ask us to join them. They told us we would join them. They have been manipulating our development for centuries. They see us as property they created, not as equals they want to befriend. So what do you suggest? Asked President Park. We tell them no. Not maybe, not later, not with different terms. Just no. The room erupted in arguments. Half the people thought this was suicide. The other half thought it was the only way to stay human. 3 days later, the aliens received Earth's answer. Vexhai read the human message twice before he believed it. No species had ever refused uplift. The concept did not exist in galactic law or tradition. This must be a translation error, he told Korthak. I checked 3 times. The humans said no. They refused to join the Confederation. Impossible. They cannot survive without galactic support. Their technology is primitive. Their resources are limited. They need us. Korthak's claws clicked on the metal table. What are your orders? Begin standard non-compliance protocols. Cut off their communication networks. Block their navigation systems. Make space travel dangerous for them. They will change their minds quickly. But humans did not change their minds. Instead, something unexpected happened. Dr. Lim Woo-hyuk made the first breakthrough. For 3 centuries, alien influences had guided human technology development in specific directions. Now free from that guidance, human creativity exploded in new directions. The aliens kept us focused on quantum computing and fusion power, he explained to his research team. But there are other paths we never explored. Look at this. He showed them equations that had been developing in his mind for years. Ideas that had seemed wrong before suddenly made perfect sense. Engineer Han Boram worked with Dr. Lim to build the first prototype. It was a power generator unlike anything humans had built before. Instead of fusion or fission, it used dimensional folding to extract energy from space itself. The efficiency is incredible, Han reported to Admiral Kim. 1 unit this size could power the entire Korean peninsula. Meanwhile, the alien blockade was causing exactly the problems Vexhai had expected. Human ships could not navigate safely through space. Communication with colonies on Mars and the Moon became difficult. Trade between Earth and its settlements almost stopped. But instead of surrendering, humans adapted. Captain Nam Ye-jin commanded the orbital defense platforms around Earth. She had been a military engineer before becoming a starship captain. When alien jamming systems blocked human navigation, she found a solution. We cannot use their navigation networks, she told her crew. so we build our own. Working with Dr. Lim's new energy technology, NAM's engineers created navigation beacons that the aliens could not jam. The beacons used dimensional folding to send signals through spacetime itself, bypassing normal communication channels. General Bae Jin was planning for war. She knew humans could not match alien firepower, so she focused on tactics the aliens would not expect. Every previous species submitted when faced with economic pressure, she explained to her officers. We are going to do something different. We are going to fight back. Colonel Oh Hyun-soo specialized in unconventional warfare. He studied every bit of information about alien military doctrine that Dr. Park had stolen. They fight like they have been winning for 1,000 years, he told General Bae. Their tactics are perfect for fighting other Confederation species. But we are not a Confederation species. The breakthrough came when Dr. Kang Hee-jin combined Dr. Lim's dimensional folding theory with human weapons technology. The result was something that should have been impossible. Quantum entanglement weapons, she explained to the weapons development team. We can hit targets instantly across any distance, bypassing their shields completely. The first test was conducted in secret on the far side of the moon. A small probe was equipped with Dr. Kang's weapon and sent toward an abandoned asteroid. When the weapon fired, the asteroid simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed or vaporized, it just stopped being there. Admiral Kim watched the test results with amazement and horror. How is this possible? The aliens taught us to think in terms of matter and energy, Dr. Kang replied. But reality has more dimensions than that. We are learning to fight in ways they never imagined. 3 months after Earth's refusal, Vexhai received reports that worried him. Human space traffic had not decreased despite the blockade. Instead, human ships were using unknown technology to travel freely through space. How are they doing this? He demanded. Korthak consulted his military analysts. Unknown. Their technology has advanced in directions our models did not predict. They are developing capabilities we do not understand. Impossible. We guided their development for centuries. We know exactly what they are capable of. Apparently not. For the first time, in his long life, Vexhai felt uncertainty. The humans were supposed to be desperate and helpless by now. Instead, they seemed to be thriving. Send a battle fleet to Earth. 3 dreadnoughts should be sufficient to remind them of their place. Korthak hesitated. Are you certain? Military. Intervention is reserved for extreme cases. The humans are becoming a dangerous example. If other species see that refusal is possible, it could threaten the entire Confederation. End this now. As the alien fleet moved toward Earth, humans prepared for the fight of their lives. They could not match alien firepower, but they had something the aliens had forgotten about: the ability to surprise. The 3 alien dreadnoughts appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system like dark metal mountains. Each ship was 5 kilometers long and carried enough firepower to destroy a planet. Captain Lee Daeho watched them on his sensors from the bridge of the upgraded New Sol. They are broadcasting on all frequencies, reported the communication officer. The message is simple: surrender in 24 hours, or face destruction. Admiral Kim Tae-jin's voice came through the communication. System from Earth Command. All units, this is Admiral Kim. The enemy has arrived. Execute Operation Freedom. Earth's response surprised the alien fleet commander. Instead of desperate calls for mercy, human ships began moving into attack positions. Dozens of small, fast vessels emerged from hidden bases throughout the solar system. Commander Korthak studied the tactical display aboard his flagship. These ships are too small to threaten us. What are the humans thinking? His tactical officer was confused. Sir, I am detecting unusual energy signatures from the human vessels. Their power output is much higher than our intelligence predicted. Impossible. We know exactly what human technology can do, but the humans had spent 6 months developing technologies the aliens had never seen. Dr. Lim Woo-hyuk's dimensional folding generators powered systems that bent the laws of physics. Dr. Kang Hye-jin's quantum weapons could strike targets across vast distances instantly. Captain Ryu Minho commanded the first experimental stealth squadron. His ships used dimensional phase technology to slip between normal space and folded dimensions. To alien sensors, they appeared and disappeared like ghosts. All units begin hit-and-run attacks, Ryu ordered. Remember, we are not trying to destroy them. We are trying to confuse them. The first human attacks came from impossible angles. Ryu's ships phased into normal space directly behind the alien fleet, fired quantum torpedoes, then phased out before the aliens could respond. The weapons passed through alien shields as if they did not exist and damaged systems deep inside. The massive ships. "Report," demanded Korthok as alarms sounded throughout his flagship. "Unknown weapon impact on deck 47. Propulsion system efficiency down by 12%. No hull breach detected. How did their weapons penetrate?" "Our shields." "Unknown, sir. The weapons seem to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously." Colonel Oh Hyun-soo coordinated the ground-based part of the battle. His teams had spent months turning the asteroid belt into a maze of hidden weapon platforms and sensor networks. When the alien ships moved deeper into the solar system, they found themselves surrounded by threats they could not see. "Fire mission Alpha 7. Oh commanded. Quantum lance beams struck the alien ships from 12 different asteroids. The beams were pure energy focused through dimensional folding, striking, with the force of small stars. Alien armor that had never been damaged in 1,000 years of warfare began to crack and melt. Admiral Kim watched the battle from Earth's command center. "Status report." General Bae Soo-jin coordinated the tactical display. "Enemy ships have taken significant damage, but they are still operational. Our hit-and-run tactics are working, but we cannot keep this up forever." "What about their response?" "That is the strange part. They seem confused. Their return fire is poorly targeted. It is like they have never fought an enemy that uses these tactics." She was right. The alien fleet had fought hundreds of battles, but always against other Confederation species who used similar technologies and tactics. Human warfare was completely different. Captain Nam Ye-jin commanded the orbital defense platforms around Earth. Her crews had worked day and night to install Dr. Kang's quantum weapons on the massive stations. "Enemy dreadnought approaching Earth. Orbit," her tactical officer reported. "Target their command section and fire," Nam ordered. The quantum lance beam crossed the distance between Earth and the alien ship in less than a second. It struck the dreadnought's bridge and passed completely through the ship's armor, electronics, and structure. The beam emerged from the other side of the ship, carrying debris and atmosphere with it. Aboard the alien flagship, Korthak stared at the damage reports in disbelief. One of his dreadnoughts was crippled. Its command crew was dead and its weapons, systems were destroyed. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "Human technology is primitive." His science officer had been analyzing the human weapons. "Sir, these are not improvements on known technology. These are completely new principles. The humans have developed physics we do not understand." The truth was becoming clear. For centuries, the Confederation had guided human development along safe, predictable paths. They had prevented humans from exploring dangerous or unknown technologies. But when that guidance was removed, human creativity had exploded in directions the aliens could not imagine. Dr. Park Mi-young had been monitoring alien communications from her science station. "Captain Lee, I am detecting panic in their transmissions. They are calling for reinforcements. How long until those reinforcements arrive?" "At least 2 weeks, even with their fastest ships." Lee smiled grimly. "Then we have 2 weeks to end this." The battle continued for 3 days. Human ships appeared and disappeared like phantoms, striking at the aliens from impossible angles. The asteroid belt became a deadly maze where alien ships found themselves under attack from all directions at once. Captain Ryu's stealth ships proved especially effective. They could phase between dimensions, allowing them to attack from positions where the aliens could not follow or strike back. "This is incredible," Ryu reported to Admiral Kim. "We just phased through their hull armor and fired quantum torpedoes directly into their engine room. The explosions are contained inside their own ship. By the end of the 3rd day, one alien dreadnought was completely destroyed. A second was so badly damaged it could barely move. The third was trying to retreat, but found itself surrounded by human forces using tactics no alien had ever seen. Korthak finally accepted the truth. Signal retreat. All ships fall back to the outer system. His communication officer looked shocked. Sir, we have never retreated from a primitive species before. These humans are not primitive. They are something we have never encountered. They fight like no other species in the galaxy. As the remaining alien ships limped away from Earth, something important happened throughout the galaxy. Other species, who had been watching the battle through quantum communication networks, saw something they had thought impossible. The humans had fought the Confederation and won. On distant worlds where alien species lived under Confederation rule, secret meetings began. If humans could refuse the aliens and survive, maybe others could do the same. Dr. Park intercepted communications from across the galaxy. Captain, we are receiving messages from dozens of species. They want to know how we defeated the Confederation. Fleet, what are you telling them? The truth, that freedom is possible if you are willing to fight for it. Admiral Kim addressed the crew of every human ship. This battle is over, but the war is just beginning. We have shown the galaxy that the Confederation can be defeated. Now other species will want to learn how. Captain Lee looked at Earth growing larger on his screen as the new soul returned home. The planet looked the same as when he had left, but everything had changed. Humans had proven they could stand alone among the stars. The question now was whether they could help others do the same. 2 years after the Battle of Earth, Captain Lee Daeho stood in the council chamber of New Geneva, the space station that had become the capital of the Free Worlds Alliance. Representatives from 47 species sat around the circular table, each one a world that had broken free from Confederation control. The rebellion had spread faster than anyone expected. Within months of Earth's victory, the Zephyrians had stopped growing food for their Confederation masters. The Makani had shut down their factories. The Talari had cut communication networks across half the galaxy. The situation reports, announced, President Park Dong-min, who now led not just Earth but the growing alliance of free worlds. Ambassador Choi So-ra, now Secretary General of the Alliance, activated the holographic display. 17 more systems have declared independence this month. The Confederation is losing control of entire sectors. But the cost had been high. The Confederation had not given up easily. When economic pressure failed, they had sent war fleets to force rebellious worlds back into submission. The galaxy was burning with conflict. Admiral Shin Yunbi, who had taken command of the combined alliance fleets, reported on military operations. Our quantum weapons technology has given rebel forces a significant advantage, but the Confederation still controls most of the galaxy's manufacturing centers. Dr. Jung Ki-tai had been working on solutions to that problem. His breakthrough in terraforming technology allowed rebel worlds to become self-sufficient much faster than anyone had thought possible. The key is not just independence, he explained to the council. It is sustainability. Every world that breaks free must be able to survive on its own. The war had changed everyone, including the aliens. Many Confederation species had discovered they enjoyed freedom more than security. But others had remained loyal to the old system, fearing chaos more than oppression. Lee remembered his conversation with Vexhai just 3 months earlier. The former council leader had requested a private meeting through diplomatic channels. You have destroyed everything we built, Vexhai had said, his translated voice full of sadness and anger. We freed people who wanted to be free, Lee had replied. Your system was built on the backs of enslaved species. Our system brought order and peace to the galaxy for 1,000 years. Your rebellion has brought only war and suffering. The suffering was already there. You just hid it behind pretty words and advanced technology. Vexhai had been silent for a long time. Finally, he had asked, What do you want from us? Join us as equals, not masters. Help us build something better. And if we refuse, then you will be left behind while the galaxy moves forward without you. That conversation had led to secret negotiations between the Alliance and moderate factions within the Confederation. Not all aliens supported the old system. Many had grown tired of the rigid hierarchy and endless control. Dr. Park Mi-young had been instrumental in those negotiations. Her understanding of alien psychology helped humans communicate with species who had very different ways of thinking. The key is showing them that cooperation works better than domination, she explained to the diplomatic team. Some aliens genuinely believed they were helping other species by controlling them. The breakthrough had come when Dr. Lim Woo-hyuk made an offer that changed everything. Instead of keeping human technology secret, Earth decided to share it freely with any species that wanted it. Knowledge belongs to everyone, Dr. Lim had argued. If we start hoarding our discoveries, we become just another version of the Confederation, a decision had been controversial. Many humans worried about giving away their advantages, but Lee supported Dr. Lim's position. Our strength was never our technology, Lee had told the Earth Council. Our strength was our willingness to think differently. We cannot lose that now. The sharing of quantum technology had dramatic effects. Species that had been dependent on Confederation infrastructure for centuries suddenly found they could build their own. Worlds that had been forced to specialize in single industries could now diversify and thrive. But the most important change was psychological. For the first time in galactic history, species were working together as equals instead of in a rigid hierarchy. Captain Ryu Minho commanded the first truly integrated fleet in galactic history. His ships included human crews working alongside Zephyrians, Makani, Talari, and dozens of other species. It is amazing what we can accomplish when everyone contributes their best ideas, he reported to Admiral Shin. The Zephyrians have improved our life support systems. The Makani have enhanced our manufacturing capabilities. The Talari have revolutionized our communications. The war was not over, but its outcome was becoming clear. The old Confederation was collapsing as more species chose freedom over security. Some systems remained loyal to the old ways, but they were increasingly isolated. The real victory had come when several founding Confederation species decided to join the alliance. These ancient races had ruled the galaxy for millennia, but even they had grown tired of the burden of controlling everyone else. We forgot that ruling others is not the same as leading them, one elder had told Lee. Perhaps it is time to learn from younger species. Now, sitting in the council chamber, Lee reflected on how much had changed. Earth had gone from being an unknown primitive world to being the heart of a galactic revolution. President Park called for the final vote on the new galactic constitution. All in favor of the partnership accords? The vote was unanimous. 47 species formally agreed to work together as equals, sharing technology and resources while maintaining their independence. Ambassador Choi read the final passage of the accords. No species shall dominate another. No world shall be forced to conform to alien ways. Every civilization has the right to develop according to its own nature and choose its own destiny among the stars. As the session ended, Lee walked to the observation deck and looked out at the stars. Ships from dozens of worlds moved freely through space, no longer following rigid Confederation trade routes or schedules. Dr. Park joined him at the viewing window. Do you think we made the right choice? Ask me in 100 years, Lee replied. But I think our grandchildren will be proud of what we did here. And the Confederation remnants? They will adapt or fade away. The galaxy has moved beyond them. In the distance, Lee could see Earth's blue glow among the stars. The planet that had once been considered too primitive for galactic society was now the symbol of freedom for hundreds of worlds. The message was simple but revolutionary. No species was superior to another. Technology was a tool, not a measure of worth. And freedom was more valuable than any gift that came with chains attached. The humans had refused the call to surrender their independence. In doing so, they had taught the galaxy that there was another way to live among the stars, not as masters and servants, but as partners exploring the infinite possibilities of the universe together. The age of the Galactic Confederation was over. The age of the Free Worlds Alliance had begun.